All right, hopefully the stream is working. I've had some technical difficulties connecting, so I'm not sure, but I think we're connected. Trying a new app today, hopefully one that can keep up with the chat a little better and share some of my images and videos and whatnot, but we'll see how it goes. So we're live in Boulder. We are on 3rd and Pearl Street. Hello, Steffi. We're on 3rd and Pearl Street, walking towards Canyon, and we're gonna head from Canyon along the base of the mountains. I've shown you guys a lot of the city, which is to our left right now, a little east of us. You guys have seen the Pearl Street Mall. We start at Pearl and Broadway a lot, so you guys can look that up on Google and see we're at Pearl and 3rd. We're almost at Canyon and 3rd. And we're gonna walk to Chautauqua, which is an iconic park here in Boulder. Show you guys some mountain views. So Chautauqua is an iconic park in Boulder. We're gonna walk, we're gonna talk Buffs. We're gonna wait a little bit, let some people get in the chat, but you guys see the you guys see the questions that I'm asking in the description of the video. So if you want to start commenting your thoughts, kick off the conversation, we'll get it rolling. We gotta cross this busy street, so we're gonna go down to a crosswalk. And you know, I got Mr. Pork Chop with me. He's hyped up and ready to talk Buff, so we'll get away from the traffic noise as we start walking towards Chautauqua too. So I don't know how bad the traffic noise is gonna be. I've heard it's not as bad on the stream as it is in person, but we'll be away from that in a couple of minutes. So I want to talk about the Buffs' playoff chances for sure, because I worry looking at BYU's schedule, looking at Iowa State's schedule. Even if Iowa State loses to Kansas State and they win the rest of their games, that doesn't really help us. So what I'm hoping for is if the Buffs win the rest of their games in dominant fashion, they will be an undeniable ratings magnet, and there's no way that they'll be able to leave them out of the playoffs if they win dominantly the rest of their games, which they should. That's what they should do. That's what this team is capable of. Give you guys a little more scenic view kind of over my shoulder. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think has to happen for the Buffs to make it to the playoffs. Do you think that's realistic? Do you think that's crazy? Hello, Shirley. It's good to see you. We're gonna get to much better views here. I went a little too far west before I crossed over Canyon, but you guys can check out my location on your map if you want to. I'm approaching Canyon and 6th. Canyon and 6th in Boulder. Matter of fact, here's Canyon and 5th. But we do these videos so everybody that loves Coach Prime and the Buffs around the world can see what the city looks like, can form around a community who are Coach Prime and Buff super fans, and talk about our hopes and dreams for the season and beyond. So when we get a little bit further down the road, I'm gonna put some graphics up on the screen. That's why we're trying a new app today. I can put some graphics up on the screen. We're gonna look at BYU and Iowa State's schedule, see what we think, because we all know that getting in the Big 12 championship would be the most ideal scenario for the Buffs to get to the playoffs. But when I look at the road to the Big 12 championship and the fact that because we lost to Kansas State, we got to go through BYU and Iowa State losing, and then I look at their schedules, I don't know. I'd love to see Texas Tech beat Iowa State. What is that, this next weekend? So we can, since we have a bye week, I'll tell you what, if it is Iowa State and Texas Tech this weekend, like I think, we got a black cyber truck. Nah, that's not Shador's, because Shador's has the Shador logo on the front and Shiloh's is gold and black. So, I know we got a few cyber trucks driving around Boulder. All right, walking by the courthouse. But now, guys, see the mountains. We're on the west side of Boulder city limits. We're on 6th Street. You can look us up on your map. We're on 6th Street and Canyon, and we're walking south towards Chautauqua Park. We're gonna talk Buffs the whole way. Gonna show you guys all over the world what the city of Boulder looks like. We were hoping for a bluebird day. We usually have electric blue skies, as you guys see in my other videos, but today it's not rainy, but it's overcast. So we got the fall colors. We got the leaves changing. It's about 70 degrees, late October. You can't ask for better weather. Just in shorts and a t-shirt. And the view, we're gonna walk through some old Boulder neighborhoods with some interesting houses and architecture. We're gonna pass through some parks. This is the Boulder Creek path. You guys have seen some of the well-off videos, some of the Ben Finiseth videos where they're playing in the Boulder Creek. That's about a mile down the path that way. This Boulder Creek path, you can look that up on a map. The Boulder Creek path runs all throughout the city. And then we're gonna cross over the creek up here, so I'll show that to you guys. All right, you guys let me know in the chat what your CU Bowl related predictions are. Corleone, it's good to see you. My wife told me I missed so many good chats from you the other night, so I got a different app. I'm hoping to keep up with the chat better today, but appreciate you tuning in. She said you had some music you wanted to promote, and I'm trying to promote good music on the streams and on the channel, so hopefully today we'll have the chat more dialed in. We're gonna walk. If you want to follow us on the map, I'll show you the cross sections. That's Streamside Lane and 6th Street. Streamside Lane and 6th Street. So we're on the west side of the city. I think Corleone thinks they're gonna win out the season and get to a big bowl. That's what I'm talking about. Do you think that if they win out double digits and more each game, even if they don't make it into the Big 12, you think they get in the college playoffs for ratings? So say Iowa State and BYU take care of business and they win out, but CU goes ahead and wins out and they dominate. How do you not put them in the playoffs? And so when I put in the description that Aaron Murray, and if y'all don't know Aaron Murray used to be quarterback for University of Georgia. Now he does a lot of QB analysis, post-game analysis videos. And Aaron Murray just out of nowhere made a video yesterday saying he thinks Colorado is a playoff team. And if they win out, even if they don't make the Big 12, you know, he's unbiased. He's a dude from Georgia. He's an SEC guy. And he was adamantly saying that if Colorado wins out, you gotta put them in the playoffs. So I wanna know what you guys think about that. Corleone says Tech is the toughest game, and he thinks CU's getting in because of the ratings. Let's see. I know Tech is gonna be tough. Do I think anybody's gonna be tougher than Tech? Probably not. Probably not. I get worried about Oklahoma State just because of their talent, because of, I'm blanking on their running back's name, Ollie Gordon. Because, you know, you can have a good team with talented players who just have that bad luck off year. And I haven't watched enough. I've watched a little bit of the Oklahoma State games this year, and they just don't seem like as tough as they were supposed to be preseason at all. But you always get scared of those, or, you know, if you're being realistic, you got to take every game seriously when you're trying to accomplish the highest goals like CU is. And honestly, that's their biggest liability, is just how talented they are. They know how good they are. I guarantee you they can feel in themselves. If I was interviewing the team, one of the things I would want to ask them is, have you felt like you were the most conditioned team, the most well-conditioned team in every game this season? Because to me, it looks like, hands down, Coach Mo has those boys in better shape than anybody. Jennifer says we could beat Texas Tech. Shiesky says they are not a playoff team considering they lost to Nebraska and K-State. So DeMilton, if CU wins out and we get one loss from BYU and one loss from ISU, will we be in the Big 12 championship game? Let's see. We will be tied with them with one conference loss, but BYU would beat us, having Kansas State as a common opponent, and they beat Kansas State, so they would beat us in a tiebreaker. So the question there is, would Iowa State beat us in a tiebreaker if we both have one conference loss? But if their one loss is to Kansas State, then they beat us in a tiebreaker too, because we lost to Kansas State. So they need to lose to Texas Tech this weekend. So we're gonna do, since we have a bye week for CU, we're gonna do a Texas Tech Iowa State analysis, because we need Texas Tech to beat Iowa State. And then if Texas Tech beats Iowa State, I'm trying to do the math in my head. I know that makes it better for us. I still don't know if they lose to Texas Tech, but then they beat Kansas State, what does that mean? That's what we need to figure out. So let's say Iowa State loses to Texas Tech this weekend, but then they beat Kansas State. We both have one conference loss. Kansas State would have two, so they'd be out of it. We'd be ahead of them. How would a tiebreaker between, again, Iowa State would win because they would have beaten Kansas State. So Jennifer saying that we need to lose twice. I think you're right, Jennifer. I think that's what it is. So CU needs help. That's what we're getting at. CU, even if they win out, they're not a lock, but the season is already a success. Like, let's not get that twisted. I'm gonna let that bus go by before we keep going. So we're in the neighborhoods on the west side of Boulder, y'all. We're walking towards iconic Chautauqua Park, talking Buffs. Our cross streets right here, appropriately Pleasant Street and 6th Street. So if you want to follow us on the map, we're at Pleasant Street and 6th Street, and we are walking south towards Chautauqua. Corleone says the K-State game was sus. How so? I mean, I have my own opinions. I just want to hear what you think. Who was that pass interference against on the sideline? I remember. I get PTSD from these pass interference calls of these refs robbing the Buffs. And so eventually my brain just like suppresses the memory, I think, because that the Jimmy Horn touchdown, the Preston Hodge interference call in the last game, especially when held up against the no pass interference call with Will Richardson on like the next series or a couple of series later, for that crazy amount of contact, just that inconsistency that makes you say shenanigans. Eventually my brain blocks out those memories because I get so mad and there's no recourse. There's like, these refs don't get held accountable. They don't lose their jobs. They don't get highlighted on Sports Center. I mean, they do a little bit, but I'm saying like, this is Matt Smith, the referee who made all of these fucked up calls this year. Why is he still in it? That's what ESPN needs to do, because they do that to a quarterback that's not performing. They do that to a offensive lineman or a D lineman. Any player that's not performing, a kicker, they'll put him on blast in a second. But these refs, like, are they running this shit? Like, what's going on? All right, let's see, catch up with the chat. DeMilton agrees. Corleone says the PI was against Shepard. So Shepard, man, I put myself in his shoes this year. I bet he's frustrated because as many amazing plays as he's made, he's had some others get stolen from him. He's had some others that just barely, you know, were almost spectacular plays, so you can't blame him for not making. But anyway, he still has the rest of the season, and he just having that big body out there with the speed, and then everything that Travis is, everything that Jimmy is, LeJontay. How do you cover all that? Kansas let us down. Who was it Kansas State? I remember seeing that game was close, and I forgot which game it was. I think it was Kansas State, because I remember Avery Johnson. I remember Avery Johnson looking so smug and happy at the end of the game. And I was just thinking like, man, you look real. I mean, I guess you would be happy if you thought you might lose to Kansas and then you eke it out. But I didn't like him doing the Deion when he scored in Folsom. That rubbed me the wrong way. Is the stream still connected, guys? Let me know in the chat. This app said the stream might have gone out. Okay, we're still going. Corleone says Colorado becoming NFLU because these players are learning to be pros. I would take any wide receiver or DB to the Cowboys. Exactly. I want to see them all go to the Broncos so I can keep seeing them play, but any NFL team will be lucky to have a majority of these dudes. I mean, Deion has picked them, and that's why we've got, I mean, to some of these people's credit who are coming around and changing their stance on Colorado, at least, you know, finally that's happening. But they get to go on acting like they're credible experts, and like they didn't, like this wasn't a huge surprise to them. But people who watch football and have been watching this team and the players coming in and the well-off content showing us what they're doing, we all knew it was a matter of time. And we got called all, you know, everything those weirdos call us, and we're right. And like, what, we don't get any, I guess all we get is the satisfaction of just, we get to see Coach Prime and the team win, and that's awesome. All right, let's see. Steffi says, stream was shaky briefly, but now all good. Beautiful fall day in Boulder. It is a little overcast, but the leaves are all changing colors. We're in the quiet part, the west side of the city, walking towards iconic Chautauqua. I'm gonna show you guys the mountains up close. All right, DeMilton confirmed. Yeah, I thought it was K-State because I remember Avery Johnson at the end of that game, like I was saying, he was so happy. Which he should be, but it was like, to me, it looked like if I would have just seen his face that they had dominated Kansas. Going 1-0 every week, keep building. The bowl gonna be crazy. Any of y'all thinking about going to the bowl game? I think we're definitely going to the bowl game if that happens. me and Mrs. Love and Liberty. And I have to go to the bowl game. Do a live stream from the bowl game. All right, guys. So Boulder edges up against the mountains there. We're just making our way east. I'm gonna show you guys the cross streets up here. You can follow us on the map if you want to. Apologize if we're having some issues with the stream. Using a new app, and there's some of the finer advanced settings. I'm trying to give you guys as high a resolution as possible, but we got to balance that with the 5G signal that we got out here. So we'll get it dialed in as we go. All of these walks, you know, you can even just play this video back when it's done at double speed and mute it and put on your own music. And it's just, that's what I do when I'm working and stuff. I just watch these little videos of like cities or places I want to visit. And that kind of gave me the idea to do that, mixed with, you know, I don't have much time to do this, but if I'm walking my little dude, he needs 3 to 5 miles a day. I might as well live stream while I do it, you know what I'm saying? And it's good when you're like a buff super fan. You don't always have people who care about hearing about the buffs as much as you want to talk about the buffs, you know what I'm saying? So we all have a place to walk and talk. All right, Corleone, a sketch up in the chat. Yeah, it is beautiful. It's crazy. So yeah, we want the recruits to see. So you guys see in my last video, all of that area, like the Pearl Street Mall and the hill where the college kids are on campus, that's all like directly to our left right now. We've already passed the Pearl Street Mall on our left. If we were to go east half a mile or so, we'd be between the Pearl Street Mall and campus. Well, you guys can see on the map actually, and I'm going off my head, so. Aurora Ave and 6th. We got the Flatirons. We're on the west side of the city. Ryan. He did take the buffs from couldn't give away tickets to can't find tickets. I don't know if you came up with that, Corleone, or if that's Deion, or if that's Stephen A, but that's it. So I apologize. It looks like walking up against the edge of the mountains is probably what was making our stream shaky. So, you know, we live and we learn. I'm walking, I'll tell you guys where I'm at when I get to the next block, but we're going just a couple of blocks east because I figured that's probably what's messing with the 5G, and we get a little bit away from the mountains, but we're close to Chautauqua, and you guys are gonna see it's like a big reveal when we finally turn the corner to Chautauqua. Bucky, you guys will recognize it from some of the videos he did when they first got here, but we're just showing you guys all around the city. Eventually you can kind of put these I'm gonna put these walking tour videos in a playlist, and you can kind of type in the cross streets and see. Maybe I'll put the cross streets in the description so if you guys want to see what any part of Boulder looks like, eventually we'll have it all covered. Yeah, but it was, you could not give away tickets in 2022. Not to the USC game. Somebody tried to give me tickets to the USC game specifically, and I didn't want to go. See them get blown out. And now it's, what did I was looking at tickets for the, because I tried to get season tickets, but there's a waiting list, and I didn't get picked off the waiting list. So tickets for, what's next, Utah, like $250 a piece or something after fees. So yeah, Corleone, you should, I mean, I would tell everybody to try to see Shedeur and Travis play in person while they're still together, but you know, it is what it is, and at least we got that 4K TV coverage now, so it makes you feel like you're there. But seeing them in person, seeing Travis do his one-handed high point spin drills in the back of the end zone before the games, right in front of your face, is crazy. Man, if you guys, anybody knows Bucky, talks to Bucky, tell him I'm just trying to work for free. There's nothing to lose. I got all the equipment, I got time, and I'm just trying to be a part of telling the story. But even if I was just an independent journalist asking questions in the press conferences and whatnot to help highlight and feature the stories that Coach Prime and the Buffs are trying to tell, instead of all the boring, cliche, played out, goofy questions that he gets, that would be a huge win and like a lifelong dream come true. But we'll see. In the meantime, I appreciate you guys supporting the channel, watching the videos, checking out Boulder. Because again, it's not about Boulder being the best place on earth. It's just about finding a place that makes you happy. Like, I love walking around here with my little guy. Me and my wife have all our hobbies we love to do here. And the people here are incredibly accepting, kind, open-minded. That's why we have all these huge parks and open spaces. And we just found our place. And then Coach Prime, one of my lifelong idols, just ends up here. It just makes me happy, so I'm sharing it with y'all. But like I said, I watch these videos all over the country because we travel around and we just got a beautiful country, man. We got a beautiful world. We all gotta share the good stuff because them haters' voices are getting too loud. And I don't know if you guys can see how much I'm walking uphill, so sorry I'm breathing hard, but you can see back here. Yeah, Corleone, I'm gonna start a Twitter for Love and Liberty and see if I can connect to Bucky. When we get up here, I'm gonna put some tweets up on the screen that Bucky was retweeting. We can talk about that. All right, y'all, we're to baseline. So we're walking up on Chautauqua. It's that tan grass you see in the distance. You're about to see it. All right, is this Chautauqua? We're gonna walk around. I'm gonna show it to you guys, but I'm just giving you a shot from the side, the north side. So that's all west, and that's all east. And so you can look up baseline and 8th. We're at baseline and 8th. All right, while we got this view in the background, let's look at some of these tweets. Some of this crazy stuff. Tell me if you guys can see this. Can you guys see that? I mean, I don't even know what to say, man. I don't even know what to say. Can you imagine if Shador was, or Bucky or Shiloh were tweeting stuff like that about people? I can't, like, I don't know. I'm speechless, man. I'm speechless. I've been running my mouth this whole walk, and that makes me speechless. Yeah, Bucky called him a pure hoe. I love when Bucky calls people a pure hoe. He reserves that for the people who really deserve it, or he reserves the pure hoe for the people who really fit the description. And I hope they take it to heart. All right, that garbage. All right, we got some heartwarming. All right, if you guys can hear me, I'm learning my lesson. We can't get too close to the mountains or we're gonna lose the stream. So I gotta walk away from the mountains and we'll look at them from across the field. I know, I mean, Prime, these people are insulting their superiors. And I said it in another stream, it's not like some subjective, you know, my opinion is that Deion's superior. It's that we're talking about football. Where's your game tape? On the internet and make fun of an injury he sustained, setting all those records, disrespecting him as a coach. That's what I'm saying, Corleone. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I put these two up back to back, because look what they're saying about this kind of man. It's horrible. A lot of people don't want to focus on it because they want to ignore it and they just want to focus on the good, and that's fine. That's how some people need to be for their own like mental well-being. But I hate injustice, man. And we're here to call it out. That's what this channel, that's not all this channel is about, but we're not going to shy away from saying, Barstool, whoever posted that, Bucky nailed it. You're a pure hoe. That's the nicest thing we could say about you. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's look at this one. Oh, we got two. I'll take the unders. You want to sell me on Colorado football this year. This is not football team that will compete for anything more than barely becoming bowl eligible, and I'll take the under on that too. Well, at least we know Nick Wright is broke now, right? Like if Nick Wright really put his money where his mouth is, at least we know he lost all his money. Mark says, totally agree, this isn't a Big 12 contender. Utah and KU are two teams playing tonight that will be contending for a conference championship from August 29th of this year. I love the receipts. I'm here for the receipts. The receipts are a little bit of justice that we get. The receipts are that little bit of justice we get for these people who couldn't catch a Nerf football, who've never taken a hit in their lives, who never put on pads and looked at another man in the eyes through a face mask, getting ready to throw down, can say anything about a GOAT. The least we can do is keep receipts. All right, let's look at what else we got here. Oh, hold on. We got Grumpy Dog. We got Wild Dog. He hates when we stop, y'all. He ain't about stopping. He said we got to keep going. All right, we got to keep it moving. So let me try to keep it moving while I get this receipt off the screen. All right. Corleone says, Deion all about family, keeps his word. He was cool with Dolph and is standing on business. How can you hate this man in any way? Exactly. Prime, literally a Super Bowl winning machine. Won with the Niners and the Cowboys back to back. Like, come on. Exactly. Exactly. And I've said it in other streams, because I went to Clemson, we were jealous of Alabama. So we hated Nick Saban and Alabama because they were good. But we didn't disrespect their name. We would never how crazy would that be? You would just, like, in normal people's mind, you think you can't disrespect the GOAT, even if I don't like them. And the dislike was just, hey, you beat us. I don't like you because you win. But hey, as a coach, you're that guy. That's why I don't like you, because you're not on our team. I could see feeling that way about Deion. But we see from these receipts, they take it to another level. Decepticon loves reviewing the receipts. I think we'll make that a part of this walk. I got this new app. It seems like I don't know if the transmission instability in the stream is due to the app, if it's due to me being too close to the mountains. That's what I think it was. I was walking, you guys see they're just right there. So we were walking all down, you know, we started way down there. You guys can check back the beginning of the stream where we started. See, you know, we're putting in some miles on these walks, but we want you guys to see the city. We want you to come visit. We want the recruits. Oh my God, if y'all can see my dog right now. Hold on, I'm gonna try to show you. He's too fast for me to get him on the gimbal. Yeah, here we go. Bucky is showing them so they know not to pickle ride now. Exactly, because that's what we see. Like I was talking about Mappy Diddy's channel. He's starting to pickle ride now, but hey, you know, his apologies have been at least the right words. It's just that there's no accountability for getting it so wrong in the first place. But these receipts are some accountability. All right, what else? We got one more. This was an RK tweet from DMVR. That was funny. So RK, and then Deion Sanders retweeting RK, bringing the receipts. It's a beautiful thing. Corleone, you're exactly right. This dog, this pork chop, he keeps saying, oh, he gets revved up when I say his name. But yeah, man, he's keeping me in shape. All right, let's look. Here we go. We got some schedules. Man, we're gonna get going, buddy. All right, here we go. We're gonna walk, but we're gonna put these up on the screen, man. He's dragging me, yo. He's dragging me. All right. It's impossible to get that perfect while he's dragging me, but hopefully you guys can see that. We talked about earlier in the chat, it may not be that Iowa State or BYU lose, because they could definitely both take care of business. The rest of these schedules that they got, y'all hear me talking over pork chop. But the consensus seems to be, you know, Iowa State would have to lose to Texas Tech this weekend. We're gonna do a game analysis of that video sometime this week. I mean, of that game. We're gonna do a video analysis since CU has a bye week. And Corleone, he's good till I just, if I'm, usually he does this if I'm talking, but today he was letting me talk and he was fine. But talking and stopping at the same time, that's like the golden rule you don't do. If I'm talking to somebody that's not him and I'm standing still, he's not having it. But anyway, guys, if Texas Tech beats Iowa State this weekend, Texas Tech beats Iowa State this weekend, and Iowa State loses to K-State, does that put us in? No, then we're tied with K-State, so they would have to lose too. So we need a lot to happen to get into the Big 12. I mean, we need some really, really good luck. But if the Buffs win out dominantly, they have a very good chance to be one of the other teams selected for the playoffs. And Aaron Murray, the former quarterback of Georgia, Josh Pate, who I forget who he works for, but he's one of the major broadcasters, both said, how can you leave Colorado out if they win out? So anything is possible. It's amazing to be in this position because of where we were in 2022. So we're not being greedy. We're not being spoiled. We're not being unrealistic. We're just being hopeful. And we know what kind of guys Coach Prime has brought to Boulder. All right, let's get these off the screen. See what else we got here. Y'all see this? They showed this in the game, but it's a beautiful thing. That's what it's all about. I love this clip. I'll play it one or two more times because it looks so personal. And that's what it's all about. That's what it should be. That was the same competitiveness as Jimmy's peace sign. Jimmy's peace sign was just that. It was just no disrespect to you as a person, but I'm trying to destroy you while this play's going on. But when the play is over, it's all love. Because that's what competitive athletes do. So, all right. What else we got to get to in this chat? We made it to Chautauqua, y'all. It's a big walk. You can see from the beginning, we went kind of by the cross streets as we were walking up here. Corleone says Travis loves the game, just having fun, and that is football. Exactly. I think I started talking about yesterday, Jimmy and Bucky filming part of a music video to their new song together. Anybody know what that song is called? I don't think it's streaming yet, but it's so epic. I love Jimmy's verse, man. And I love that they're making music. I love that in today's college football, people can be more, people can be full spectrum human beings and express more sides of themselves and make money that way too, because those streaming royalties are real. Corleone says he loves the move he does when he catches it. He always gets the first person every time. It's crazy. Every time. It's like even if he knows he's about to step out of bounds, he's still going to juke that first person. So apparently Travis has a brother named Travis and Travis. And I heard Travis say that Travis has 4 touchdowns in his last 2 games. So watch out for Travis if I heard that right. All right, let's see what else we got going on in the news here, guys. Gonna keep Nikhil Webb-Walker in our thoughts all the time in these videos. Always gonna be thinking about him. And The whole city loves you, man. If you ever see this, to all you players, you guys know where we were before you came here. I'm really glad all the players are getting to experience this city with the legend, with the GOAT, with a gold jacket coaching staff who is ushering in a new era of college football where we're gonna have GOATs and legends coaching, not the good old boys network. Thought I was tripping. Okay, I ADD'd for a second, but Corleone answered a question I asked a little while ago. So Deion Jr. and Jimmy Horn have a song called Thought I Was Trippin'. Is that on streaming services yet? So Deion has his own version that's streaming, but the verse with Jimmy isn't out yet. So when they drop that, that's gonna go crazy. That's gonna go crazy. It's so good. It's just like you see all these like little windows into players like Jimmy. And it's what we talk about in a lot of these streams, that if you follow this team, you see the quality of human beings that Coach Prime recruits. And so that's why none of us are surprised that this has happened. We're not like Mappy Diddy and Josh Pate and Paul Feinbald. We knew this was coming. It was just a matter of time. And so it's good to see it all coming to fruition. I mean, there's a lot of the season left, but again, if you're from Boulder, we already won. Last year was a 400% improvement. And you know, nobody's happy with 4-8 and missing a bowl game, and nobody's happy with barely making a bowl game. But you got to be crazy if you think that if Coach Prime can do this in less than full 2 years of being here. If he stays, it's on. When Coach Prime says he wants his face carved into the flat irons, that's these are the flat irons right here. So you know, hippie Boulder's never gonna let that happen, but that would be a beautiful thing. It would be a beautiful thing. He's bringing them $1 billion of marketing every 3 years. Every 3 years he's in Boulder is worth $1 billion of commercial marketing to the city. Yeah, I'm into Bucky's music. I love original music that's real, like authentic from the soul, no matter what variety or genre. Like, I listen to everything. I just like when you hear that the person who wrote it has soul and has heart and is expressing something real. All right. What else we got to talk about in here today, guys? It's a bye week, so I was gonna start doing some detailed analysis of all the games. The one that I did for the Cincinnati game left me with my 42-21 prediction. I got a little aggressive, but I think it could have easily been that. It could have easily been 42-14. It could have been 49-14. But achieving those kind of wins is going to be a game where the team is firing on all cylinders 75% or more of the whole game, and we still haven't seen that with CU. And that's a good sign, because they're getting more disciplined, they're getting more skilled in their schemes and play running ability, play recognizing ability in their assignments, their understanding of the playbook. We see it week by week, but they still haven't fired on all cylinders. And so when they do, who can they not compete with? And again, it's not a given that they will, because they haven't yet. So we can't say we know that this team is going to fire on all cylinders when they play, because we haven't even seen that yet. But what we've seen has been incredible. So that's a good sign. If you've seen somebody playing at 60-70% of their ability, and they're still beating people by double-digit margins, that's a football team. Everybody knows it. Stephen A. Smith saying Coach Prime should be a lock for Coach of the Year. And, of course, he sure better be. Surely is going to be a long week. So, since we need Texas Tech to beat Iowa State this weekend, that's what I was getting to earlier. I got distracted. I'm going to do an analysis of the Iowa State Texas Tech game, looking through the stats and rewatching. What I do is I'll go back and I'll watch the key plays from each of those teams throughout the season on YouTube TV. They do those key play recaps, so and then start to look at that with the stats, see who's who. And just because I'm gonna be bored like you, it's gonna be a long week without the Buffs playing, so I want to get into something. So let's see if Texas Tech, let's see what kind of chance they have to beat Iowa State and give us a little hope, because getting into the Big 12 championship would be indescribable. I still think they can make the playoffs without getting into the Big 12, because a couple of weeks ago they were the number 2 watched team in college football. The late night games always hurt that ranking. Like, I think they were number 1, and then after Kansas State or Baylor, they dropped. But when you have 3 of those 8:30 kickoffs, those hurt your overall ratings. But the point is, if you put the Buffs in prime time, everybody wants to watch. And if they're winning dominantly and they win the rest of their games, they deserve to be in that new expanded playoff. And I will debate anybody who disagrees with that. The ceiling on this team is so high. And you can tell when people have only watched the highlights of CU and they don't really know the players. They don't really know the process that's been going on behind the scene, because they're the ones that are surprised, like, hey, this is actually a football team. But all of us who've been watching and following closely are just saying it's about time. It's about time. So we're walking around Chautauqua. You guys can find it on the map. It's C-H-A-U, Chaw, T-A-U, tall, Q-U-A, Qua, Chautauqua. Maybe we can get a little bit, they got a little restaurant up here. They do a lot of weddings here. If we go straight down that street, we get to campus. So we just go right down there, campus right over that hill. Actually, we'll walk over there and we can look over the hill, we'll see it. We'll look down on campus from up here, that'll be cool. But yeah, I go walking my dog all over Boulder every day. I'm not gonna live stream every day, but when there's good Buffs news to talk about, we might as well just hop on the live stream and get to converse with you fellow Buff super fans across the world, show you what Boulder looks like, show the recruits what Boulder looks like, and I'm gonna show you over time all the little different spots you would go. But this would be a park when people come to Boulder. It's like a rite of passage. You have to go to Chautauqua. And if my reception wasn't so bad up against the mountains, which I didn't realize was gonna happen, I was gonna actually take you guys up in the trails, because the trails from the bottom of Chautauqua go all up through the mountains. So you can hike and hike and hike and see all kinds of crazy stuff up in the mountains. See bears and moose and elk. I'm just kidding. Every now and then you might, but we gotta let somebody walk by and get you guys some views. We get up here where we can see campus. You can just see campus there. When we get up a little bit higher, you'll see it. Corleone says, Coach said he is looking for the person, not the player, and it shows. He is building something fast. He knows what he's doing, and he's teaching them how to do it right. You nailed it, bro. What else is there to say? Other than, now that he set the standard that you could go and be coached by a GOAT, what good player is gonna wanna be coached by Dabo when you could be coached by Prime. And Dabo's my guy. I mean, Clemson's my team. I love what Dabo has done for the program. Just personality-wise, he's not my favorite, but I love him as a coach. I love what he's done for Clemson. But if I was a player, you'd think it would be a competition to play for him or play for Prime if you got to pick. Come on. All right, so there's campus. I don't think I can zoom in, but right there, we got some high-rise dorms. If you guys can see right here, it's like high-rise student dorms. We walked you guys around campus yesterday. So I'm just giving you perspective. You can also look on a map and see we're at Chautauqua Park, right up against the Flatirons. Yeah, Corleone. Highest GPA in football team history. Has never been higher. Ever. Not like in the 2000s. It's the highest team GPA in school history under Coach Prime because he doesn't play with the bull junk, as he says. I love that word. That's a Coach Prime word, bull junk. But it should be talked about. It should be celebrated like that. Let's put that clip of him. Let's put this back up. These are the stories. And you know, some of the media channels cover it. So, but for me, you can't have credibility if you just mention stuff like that, but then you also act surprised about the work that he's done in Boulder. Because if you're surprised, you haven't been paying attention, you didn't give Deion enough respect in the first place. That's what it is. If you're surprised, you doubted. Oh, there's Folsom, guys. Hold on, it's behind this. Can y'all see the stadium? Look right past this light pole, straight down. Right to the right of the light pole, to the electric pole. So you can see Folsom from up here, straight in front of us. I've seen Bucky walk up here a lot because once you get to the base of that park where we were at, that's just the beginning. Then you take any trail up into the mountains. This is just kind of the area around. There's how you spell Chautauqua. National Historic Landmark. Just showing you guys Boulder, man. Showing everybody across the world. We've had Ghana, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, Japan, China, Philippines. Where else have we seen people in here from? Of course, all states, all over the US. You guys tap in where you're watching from. Corleone, I forgot where you're watching from. Are you New York? Pennsylvania. Got you. It's a worldwide phenomenon. It's a beautiful thing, as Bucky says. Kelly Jones in Mississippi. How's it going? Good to see you from Boulder. That black dude in Fiji on holiday, what's up? My guy in Fiji. All right, that's what I'm saying. I'm always saying we love Boulder. We want to show everybody Boulder, but I watch these videos of people walking around cities all over the world, all over the US, because I like to travel, and I like to see all the different places. I grew up in some southeastern cities most people probably wouldn't ever want to photograph, but I could show you all the most beautiful, charming areas of those cities too, because it's just, you know, finding a place that enhances your life And that was Boulder for me before Coach Prime moved here. So before Coach Prime came here, like, this was my spot. I was far away from family, far away from my roots, but like, this was the place for me. And then my childhood hero just drops in. So that's why I'm so happy all the time, like making these videos, talking about Coach Prime. That's where I'm coming from. Chicago, Battletone, what's up? Chicago, love Chicago. People think Boulder is cold, but it don't compare to Chicago cold. Is not even in the same universe. Chicago is beautiful, epic, legendary. Kelly Jones says it's an honor to be a Colorado fan. I agree. And so that's what, that's what this channel is about, is celebrating CU, Coach Prime, Boulder, and just, I think I got to see, when I was real young growing up, I pretty much saw Jordan's whole career. And yeah, I know it's nerdy. I played football, but I also liked golf. I saw Tiger Woods' whole career. And I saw Prime's whole NFL career. I was too young when, or not born when he was in college. I think I was born his last year at FSU. But I've got to see some GOATs. And so, like I said, Boulder was the place that I looked for that made me happy. There's a lot of cities, a lot of beautiful cities that make me happy, but Boulder was my place. And then 15 years later, Coach Prime drops in here, my childhood hero. The only football jersey I ever purchased in my life was in 5th grade, Coach Prime jersey. I hated the Cowboys, but that's who he was playing for, and I wore that jersey with pride. Anyway, so we're documenting it because when I was a kid, it's not that I took Michael Jordan for granted. You just don't know as a kid. You don't know that you're not going to see a player like that every season for the rest of your life. You don't realize how different it is. So this moment in time, being here, being an adult, especially the way Bucky is changing college sports entertainment, which is also attributable to Coach Prime. I mean, he's Deion Jr. There you go. Like, they're changing everything in what is a national institution, historically run by a small group of privileged people. And they're making players like Jordan Seaton say, hey, I want to play for somebody who's done it. I want to play for somebody who knows when they're telling me that I need to try harder, that I know that they know what they're talking about and I can trust them. When they tell me whatever type of career advice. And so that's what Coach Prime is doing here. He's changing it, the whole system, from recruiting to the pro NFL mindset, where every week is what are you guys gonna do after this? When the free food stops, when the free accommodations stop, when you can't play on Folsom anymore, what are you gonna do? And he's keeping them laser focused to build great men. And you see it from the GPAs, you see it in the lack of any type of disciplinary. Somebody mentioned in the last stream there were a couple of things last year, but it looks like he kind of set the standard, kept those things under wraps. They weren't really big deals. They weren't news in the city. I live here. I barely remember hearing about the players being dismissed, but he obviously set a standard for behavior that's carrying through this year. And you see it pan off on the football field. You see the penalties going down. John Wick, hello in New Zealand. That's amazing. You guys see my guy, what I'm dealing with here. Y'all see. Sport chop, y'all. Sport chop. He just wants to be on the stream. He wants to hear his name. Okay, Pork Chop, we're talking about you too, man. We're talking about how cool Pork Chop is. Pork Chop's gonna play for the Buffs. He's gonna be a mascot. skybox looks awesome. Which skybox are we looking at? Or the skybox at the stadium. The stadium, if I get access inside, I played in what we'll call like a fancy wedding band for many years in Colorado, and I played a lot of weddings at the stadium, not on the field, but in the skybox area of the stadium. There's like this whole upper level that's like an event. I don't even know how to describe it. It's got like movable, partitionable walls, and they lead up to the suites. So on game day, they like partition the suites off and whatnot. But when they have a wedding, it's like all open, but it looks out on the fields with, you know, these flat irons. That's the background. That's what you see behind the stadium. Okay, but Battletone's talking about the sky. Yeah, we get some beautiful cloud formations and colors as the sun sets, as you can imagine. I was in a wedding cover band in Corleone, but it killed my soul. I couldn't do it anymore. When James Brown and Stevie Wonder, you know, start to make you cringe, you know you got to take a step back. I knew I was wrong. I was having to rely on the liquid courage a little too much, and I had a bunch of vocal students. I taught singing in Boulder for many years. I had one student make it real far on the voice, and she had just turned 22 when I was getting burnt out of the wedding band. And so I asked her, you know, let's make a trade. I don't want to do this anymore. My heart's not in it. And so now she's doing it. But that was good. That was good work, and it was good experiences. We played all of the crazy mountain resorts at top of the mountains all over Colorado, and whole horn section, 3 or 4 horns every night. Really good musicians, and it was a lot of fun, but it was the same sets over and over and over, because a wedding, they have never heard your set before, but for you, it's your 2,000th time playing Pick Your Wedding Song, 4 on the Floor, funk, and all music that I used to love, and then it started to get burnt out. So if you look at Chautauqua and Baseline, we're walking east, and I'm just going to show you guys where the campus is in relation to where we just were, and then so that'll be another 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll call it a stream for the day. And I'll wish you guys a very good evening, late night, afternoon, morning, wherever in the world you're at. What time is it in New Zealand? Our friend from New Zealand. You gotta be completely flip-flop from us, right? So we're walking through Boulder. If you guys want to look up Chautauqua, that's how you spell it. And we're on Baseline Road, and we're walking east to campus because, like, I like to connect the dots in these videos. We went to campus yesterday. We've been to campus in a few of the videos, but I've shown you guys a walk from like Pearl Street to the stadium, from Pearl Street up Broadway to the hill, which is on the west side of campus. So you can start to get an idea of how close together all this stuff is, and you know, there's still a lot to show you in Boulder. It's not a big city, and it's not super condensed, but there's just a lot of good stuff. But again, that's just me personally. I'm biased. Like I traveled, and this was the place for me before Coach Prime got here. It was just icing on the cake for my childhood hero to come. But it's a beautiful country, man. We got beautiful cities everywhere, and I hope none of them can steal Coach Prime from us. We don't ever want to lose Coach Prime, but you know, we're all adults, so we know what reality is when those crazy offers start coming in from all over the country. But I do think that CU and Rick George will give Coach Prime the keys to the city. I believe they'll give him any contract that he wants if he wants to stay here. So it's West Boulder neighborhood street, close to Chautauqua. You know, these are not going to be houses for the college kids, put it that way. But on the other side of Broadway down here, then you get into more professors, students, and apartments and campus and all that stuff. You got the fall colors popping. It's a beautiful city. It's a beautiful day. It's overcast. It's not that bluebird day that really pops. And I can't stream in 5G 4K, but I can 1080. And those blue sky days look really good in 1080p. But still get some beautiful cloud formations on the overcast days. Chris says I'm casing the neighborhood. Yeah. The neighbors peeking out their window. What's he doing? Nah, we're in Boulder. Everybody's got a gimbal. Everybody's live streaming. I don't know if you heard earlier, but my guy Pork Chop here, he needs about 3 to 5 miles a day. So you know, streaming and talking buffs with you guys makes it a little more interesting. But yeah, we're putting in the miles. We're getting Boulder documented, so the recruits that are thinking about coming here, you know, like something they could do is put this video on, they could put it on mute and they could put it on double speed and you could just speed walk around the city. You could click on different videos where I'm showing different parts of the city, put it on double speed, mute it, you know, put on your favorite music. You could get us some ad revenue if you do that, which we're gonna use to, we're gonna try to go to, I don't know. I was looking at the financials of traveling to the away games and covering the away games, but I just don't know if it makes sense this season. But it's no pressure, it's no rush. This channel doesn't have to be anything. The main purpose of this channel is to show that people in Boulder love and support Coach Prime and the players no matter what. We are ride or die. We're grateful for where we are because of where we've been before he was here. And we're grateful for as long as he chooses to stay. But we're not unrealistic, and the school's gonna do everything they can to renew his contract. If he chooses to bless us with that decision, they will probably, you know, give him whatever he wants. And in the meantime, I just got tired of hearing all of the crazy people who look like me saying the craziest things online. And that's not to say there's plenty of people like Matt McChesney and I'm not going to name them all that look like me, that do defend Coach Prime and the Buffs and stand up, but the haters' voices have gotten too loud. They don't live here. So I'm going to walk around the city, show you why, you know, I've got my football teams that I don't like, but but I would never get online and dehumanize their coach or their players. I talk about all the time how I hated Coach Saban because he was good. You know, there was no disrespect on that. It's like, I don't like you because you beat my teams, because you're good and I respect you, but you're not my guy, so I don't like you. That's fine. But y'all know the hate that I'm talking about. I put some of the tweets that Bucky retweeted. I put those on the screen earlier. We talked about them, so we don't have to do that again. But that's the purpose of this channel, and it's good to walk around the neighborhood and be able to vent to you guys. Like, my wife doesn't want to hear how pissed off I am about the Jimmy Horn peace sign, or the Preston Hodge pass interference, or the Will Shepherd no call for pass interference. I mean, she'll hear it up to a point, but she's like, okay, chill out. So I can vent to you guys. You feel my pain. Those refs are crazy. And you never know what the ref's agenda is, because you can bet on anything in football. You can bet on how many interceptions there will be in a game. So you don't even always know that they're trying to make Colorado lose. You see inconsistent calls that look like shenanigans, and you just feel like something's fishy. Corleone says it's crazy because years ago, the peace sign would have been an iconic moment. I mean, doesn't Tyreek Hill, isn't he known for doing that? Who did I hear? I heard somebody say that, and then I remembered, because I don't watch as much NFL as I watch college football, but I catch highlights, and I just feel like I have seen Tyreek Hill throughout the years on highlights throwing up the peace sign. So it's just... words like unconscionable, injustice, sociopathic. So I think I get a little bit extreme for how mad it makes me. But I mean, you're messing with these kids' lives. And if you're gonna do a game-defining call, is it not too much to ask that it at least be defensible? Because I haven't seen a clip of the Preston Hodge interference that shows them the receiver he was guarding and him from the beginning of the play. But all the clips that I've seen show no contact. All right, so we keep having these transmission issues, and so now I'm thinking it's the app, and it's my bitrate settings, which is just like a technical nerd thing for how the 5G data is processed. I'm trying to stream at 1080 resolution. I've been trying different apps, because some of these apps, I won't get into it, they all have their pros and cons. I had one that was good, but the chat disappears. So I can't ever keep up with the chat, and I miss people's comments, and I don't want to do that, because I'm trying to see how you guys all feel, get a feel for Buff Nation across the world. You know, put me in check when, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I have to come to you guys and be like, do I need to chill out about my anger about these refs, or is it justified? And it feels like a lot of us feel the same way. I swear my wife would say, you definitely need to just chill out, bro. It's a game. It's a game, and you're not playing in it. But we want Coach Prime to win. We want these kids to win. That's what it is. You see what good people they are. You know how hard they work. You know they're putting their bodies on the line. And so when you see them get robbed, and you know all of those things, is different. It's like a character in a movie that you're engaged in, you know, versus just seeing a clip of a movie where you have no context for what's happening. So yeah, Corleone, they hate, they talk about the jewelry all the time, and it's like, it's so funny to me, man. It's like hating somebody for the kind of car they drive, or the kind of house they want to live in, or the kind of food they eat. It's like, if I like jewelry, how does that affect you? And they want to say, I know what they want to say because I grew up around these people. I can hear my uncles when I say that in the back of my head, being like, no, it sends the wrong messages to kids. He's acting like, you know, gold and flash is what's important. And it's like, then you obviously don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't know who this man is. But they'll say that. They'll say that to their kids like me. But even as a kid, I knew it was bullshit. I knew my uncles. I didn't know why they hated Deion, because they were never explicit. It took me years to figure it all out, but it always was unnatural to me from like 3rd grade. I was like, why would anybody dislike this guy? He's the dude. What was that? There was a Saturday cartoon that had Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson, maybe Mr. T. I don't remember, but I remember that in my childhood, and that's just like all the Deion. I have so many Deion memories. I went to a Braves game when he was playing for the Braves when I was really young. I never got to see him play football live, but I watched every game on TV that he was playing in from the time he played for the Falcons, and I was just a little tiny kid because my grandfather loved the Falcons and my grandfather loved Deion. And so that was another thing. My grandfather was a good, loving, upstanding dude who, you know, treated everybody equal and loved all people. And that's how my mom was. So I could really see the contrast between my uncles and some extended family when they would say, you know, they're those type of people that are on the internet saying that crazy stuff about Coach Prime. And it's like, why it's also personal to me, because their voices, they're too confident. They're too confident to talk about a man whose shoes they aren't fit to shine. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm big on competition because losing builds character. That was that first half of that Nebraska game, right, Corleone? Like, first half of that Nebraska game woke this team up. And I don't really feel that way about the Kansas State game, because I just think if you just give us Travis, we win that game. And there, you know, there's a list of 20 things that went wrong in that game. Missing 25 and 30 tackles being probably the next biggest one in my book. But and Travis hurt himself. You know, he laid his shoulder into somebody on that play, putting a hit on him, and he gave himself a stinger. That's of course not his fault. That's football. He's playing hard. He's showing his opponents that he's not to be taken lightly. But it bit us that game. Nebraska, they're in Lincoln, that place. I mean, all they have in Nebraska is Cornhusker football as far as sports go. Nebraska's a beautiful state. It's got its own, you know, places where you can walk around and do videos and have the ambiance and whatnot. And, you know, they love going to school in Lincoln, but when they get in that football stadium, it's everybody from the whole state showing up. And you got a team, a lot of their time, second time playing together ever. A lot of the new players. I think we started Trevor Woods and Bentley at linebacker. Who knows if that made a difference or not. I think it was just the environment of Nebraska, the newness of the team, the newness of the season, and Nebraska looking at it as their Super Bowl. And we got shocked for one half of football. One half of football, man. We won the second half and didn't lose again until Kansas State. And, you know, we just talked about that. So the ceiling for this team is super high. It's hard for me. I can very well be biased. I might be biased. But it is hard for me to see us losing to Nebraska or Kansas State again if we played them next week. I can't see it. But I could be biased. Z Finest says, don't let my confidence offend your insecurities. Exactly. Enough said. Exactly. Don't let my confidence offend your insecurities. And that's all it is. Okay, so I told you guys we're coming back to campus. There's campus across the street. We're not gonna cross right here because it's a little too busy. Y'all see that's Broadway and 19th. So I forget where we even started at the beginning of the stream. You'd have to scrub back, but I know I showed the cross streets the whole way. We walked all the way to Chautauqua Park. You guys can look at that on the map. You see we're putting some steps in for these videos. And you guys are helping Little Pork Chop get some exercise. And you know, recruits or anybody who's interested in visiting the city, one thing I like to do is put these walk around videos on double speed and then mute them and play my own music while I'm studying or doing work or something like that. But it's just a good way to sightsee. You know, when you're looking at a different city you don't live in, you're thinking about visiting. I love those videos on YouTube. So we've been talking Buffs. I walk Pork Chop every day. We're not gonna stream every day, but we'll stream when there's Buffs news to talk about. Whenever there's any kind of Boulder events that you guys wanna be able to see live and in person, we'll be there. So that's what we're doing. We appreciate you guys. Me, thank you. Second day walk, awesome like the first. Yeah, we'll probably chill out for the rest of the week. I mean, we'll be doing our daily walks, but I'll just be absorbing the news, taking notes, getting my thoughts together. Anything that I hear on all the Buffs channels that we follow and the social medias and whatnot, get ready to have something to talk about next time it is time for a live stream. But one thing that I want to do this week, which will be different, I don't know, I'm talking about it on this stream, I'm going to think about it, but because I put a lot of time when I do an analysis video. I've only done one on YouTube, which was for the Cincinnati game, predicted 42-21, so I was a little aggressive. But you know, we've talked about the score could have easily been 42-21, could have been 42-14, could have been 49-14. So but I put a lot of time. I go like through all the stats, all of the games each team has played. And I want to look at Iowa State and Texas Tech for this weekend. That's what I'm thinking about doing. Because if Iowa State loses, all of a sudden, our chances to get in the Big 12 get better. Because we need help. We need help. We can still get into the college playoffs if we dominate the rest of the year and we get selected based on how good Colorado's ratings are. But we would all love to control our own destiny. There's a stadium. You guys see the lights? So we're walking down Broadway. And campus is all over there. Showing you guys a beautiful city of Boulder. Hoping you get to visit if you want to. I would advise everybody to try to see a game while Travis and Shador are playing on the same team. If you can. If you can, it's moment in history, and we only have so many more times. I will tell you, the tickets to the Kansas game, which are going to be at Arrowhead Stadium, are the cheapest that I've seen on StubHub. You can get tickets for $47. Those are the cheapest tickets I've ever seen to see Shedeur and Travis and this amazing team of players. LeJounte, Jimmy Horn, Will Shepherd, Jordan Seaton, Phillip Houston, Cash Cleveland, Khalil Benson, Justin Mayers, Savell Smalls, Cam Silman Craig, Shiloh, Travis, DJ McKinney, Colton Hood, Levante Bentley, Nakai Hill Green, Chidozie Nwankwo, Anquin Barnes, Sam Okunlola, maybe Keaton Wade, BJ Green. Come on. $47 in Kansas. I might have to go out there. But that's 11 hours from me. And I would have to take the lady and the puppy. So can't fly, we have to drive. We'll see. Thinking about going to the Texas Tech game. We'll definitely be at the home games, covering the pep rally and the buff walk as always. I think we might even try streaming the pregame festivities inside the stadium like Rob Demand Media is doing, or somebody just connect me with Rob Demand and let me help him improve his screen resolution. Unless what's causing his blurry resolution is just that when you get in the stadium, everybody's using their cell phones. It could just be that the reception is so bad, but we'll be at the home games, thinking about going to the away games. I'm just telling you guys from my research, the Kansas game at Arrowhead Stadium is the cheapest buff tickets I've ever seen. Yeah, Corleone, if you come, definitely hit me up. Any of you guys. Or just soak in Boulder. Just have a great time. Just see the love. Boulder is just a very good vibe city. And again, there are a lot of good vibe cities all over the place, but Boulder is just one of them. Okay guys, we're at Euclid, EUCLID, and 15th Street. So we're kind of up on top of the hill for the college kids that we showed you guys yesterday. We'll walk back down that way. We'll walk down the hill where the college kids hang out, where they get food. The Fox Theater campus is right in front of us again. We'll walk down Broadway to the Pearl Street Mall, and that's where we'll wrap the stream up, because it kind of ties up these different videos for you guys. I like if I bring it back to the Pearl Street Mall and you ever come here, you're gonna have a really solid frame of reference for how the city is laid out and where everything is. And we're just getting started. We got a lot of the city to cover. I want to take you guys on hikes up the mountain and show you what it looks like from the mountain looking down on the city. So we're gonna have to figure out, usually I have really good service in the mountains. So I think this new app I'm using, I gotta get into the settings, figure out why the stream has been glitchy at times. But I wanna get you guys up on the mountain. Otherwise, I can just take some good 4K video up there and edit it together and post it. It doesn't have to be live. But I don't really have time to make these videos, but I do, like I said, I have to walk Pork Chop every day. So if I just go live while I'm walking Pork Chop, it doesn't take any extra time. It makes the walks more fun because he doesn't talk football with me. He's only interested in treats, right? You're just trying to get treats. He knows all the little spots that give him water and dog treats all throughout the city. Shake hands. It's beautiful. Which 3 games did you go to? I was probably at them too. Glad you got to visit. Hope you get to come back. Hope you're loving life wherever in the world all you guys are, united by Coach Prime and his mission. Because that's how I am. Like, I keep saying it in this stream, so I'm not gonna go over the details too much, but I ended up here 15 years ago because it was my favorite city. And growing up, Deion was my favorite athlete. So 15 years later, for him to just end up where I am, it's why I'm so happy. It's why, like, you can feel the joy in these videos for the team. I love him as a human being, as an inspiration, as a father, you know, to his kids. And I love college football. So it's full circle for him to be here. But what I'm saying is, if he would have gone, like, I was following him at Jackson State, but I couldn't get any of their games. I didn't have them on any of my streaming services. I just have to watch highlights or whatever. So if he would have gone to any school that I could follow him like this, and I did not know about Bucky's YouTube channel until they moved here. And it just never got recommended to me on YouTube. I didn't even know that it existed. But
where are you going right now? All right.
Pause. But anyway, if he had gone anywhere, I would be the same level super fan. I wouldn't be making videos because Boulder would have nothing to do with it. But I would be, you guys see me in the chats of everybody else's videos. I would be in the chats of the Coach Prime videos, whatever city he went to. And if he left here, my loyalty follows Coach Prime, even though I live here. I went to Clemson. I'll always be loyal to Clemson. But I have watched 100 times more of the Buffs since Coach Prime has been here than I have Clemson. And that's never been true in the last 20 years of my life. So that's who Coach Prime is to me. That's why this channel exists. Shake hands, went to CSU. Oh, the games, Arizona and Oregon State. Oh, I was at the Arizona and Oregon State games, but I missed the CSU game. I watched it at home, but oh, you're so lucky. That's amazing. Amazing. That Oregon State game was especially tough. There was some, I don't know if it was us taking a knee. There was something that happened in the Oregon State game where we basically gave them that game. So it was hard. But it's a new team, new program. So guys, we're on the hill. If you hear the players talk about the hill, we got a yoga place. We got dim sum and dumplings. We got a glass shop, like a head shop. We got a fried chicken place. It's like really good portions, really good prices. Is it the best fried chicken I've had in my life? No. Is it really, really good and like excellent for the price it is? Yeah, absolutely. We got Fat Shack. If you guys look up Fat Shack's menu online, it will blow your mind. It's like fried Twinkies, fried Oreos. They're not joking when they say Fat Shack. Then we got Illegal Pete's. You guys can see one of my first videos. Shador said he was coming to Illegal Pete's, so I was up here waiting to catch it on live. And these drunk dudes from Florida wanted to fight about Shador, so that was a whole video. It was silly. You know, you're not missing anything if you don't watch it, but it was entertaining. I was like, you guys are not from here, are you? They're like, we're from Florida. And I was like, oh, okay, gotcha. Got a deli, little market and deli. I hope so, Yvonne. I hope that's what it is. So here we got some, you know, if you're like the fanciest kids in school, you might stay in those apartments. Got a board shop, so all kind of skateboarding, everything. Got a vintage buy, sell, trade store. So Boulder, all over the city, got the best secondhand clothes stores. I get all my clothes secondhand, and it's like, it's from these like rich college kids who don't even wear the stuff. Half the stuff's got the tags on it, and you get like some Eddie Bauer shorts with the tags on them for $3. That place is called, oh, why am I blanking on it? Somebody in the chat help me. Plato's Closet. And I know they have Plato's Closets in other cities, but in Boulder, I think that's just where all the college kids go, and they have their nice ski jackets. And man, get your ski gear at a secondhand clothes store, because it will be one season old, if not brand new. And instead of $300, $400,000 jacket, you're getting it 25 bucks. So hey, there's a insider Boulder tip for you for somebody who lives here. Our thrift stores are the best. These Boulder people, they be giving their clothes away way too early. And so, you know, say whatever you want. I know a lot of people, you know, Shador's never gonna wear clothes from a thrift shop. I feel that. If you're a designer, if that's your style, do you, you know, whatever makes you feel good. I just passed that vintage store, and it just made me think, what a good vintage clothes scene that Boulder has. But hey, some people like to shine in that designer stuff, and that's again, your shine doesn't affect my self-confidence, and vice versa. Do you, be happy, and that's what it's all about. That's why the barking. Yeah, of course. We had another little dog who's excited to see pork chop. See, me, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I feel like I'm being financially savvy, but I'm not gonna say, like I said, to each their own. Just be happy, feel good, whatever it takes. As long as it's not dragging somebody else down, it's all good. All different flavors, all different restaurants. Yeah, Corleone, that whole flip game with the thrift shops is real too. We don't all have $40 million NIL deals. All right, so that's campus behind us. We just passed, we just walked off the hill. We're walking down the hill on Broadway. This Broadway, walking down Broadway, and at the bottom, we'll come back to the Pearl Street Mall. I've taken you guys up and down the Pearl Street Mall for the Buff Stampede. We did that a little bit of the end of the video yesterday, so you can kind of see the shops on the mall. A video where we walked to the stadium. We started on the west side of Pearl Street where there's houses and people live, and then we walked down to where the mall is, and we walked from the mall to the stadium. So now we're coming back to Pearl Street Mall, and again, this is just to close the loop for you guys so you can see how Boulder's all connected. You see these cranes from a distance in some of my other videos, looking up, you know, from down at the bottom of the hill. But I don't know what this is they're building right here. It's over there on the sign. I could go over there and read it, but I never walk on that side of the street usually. So I need to see what it is, because it's obviously substantial. It looks like apartments, if I had to guess. The way it's all like sectioned off little boxes. And then maybe it's a parking garage underneath, or they're gonna have a grocery store underneath. They do that out here a lot. They'll put like grocery stores underneath apartment buildings, so the people who live there, you know. All right, we got pork chop going crazy in the street, trying to make it across without getting hit. Now he's chilling. All right, so we're walking down Broadway. I'll tell you guys what this cross street is up here in case you want to follow along online. We got some apartment buildings over here. So as you can see, you'd be right downtown. Beautiful view of the mountains. Does CU have a lot of, Shake Hands with Destiny says, does CU have a lot of campus dorms? I noticed a lot of the players seem to live off campus. They do. I don't know what the number, like how many, whether they have 10,000 capacity student dorms, 20,000, 30,000. I don't know what the number is. I feel like it's pretty adequate, but the players all have nicer accommodations. So there is a city you can look up on the map called Gun Barrel. If you guys look up Gun Barrel and you look up Boulder, there's this huge brand new apartment complex right when you get into Gun Barrel, and that seems to be where all the players live. I think they got some kind of deal with the developer of that apartment complex, and they just give them all nice apartments there, and that's like 15, 20 minutes down the road. It's a straight shot. You get there going straight down this road. You just get outside the city of Boulder, drive for about 10 minutes, 50-mile-an-hour type highway. And so because the dorms would be not as nice. CU's not one of the oldest schools, and it's building new dorms, so there are like nicer ones, but the dorms are all super small, and they give the football players, from what I've seen, and I have seen a lot of them at this apartment complex, and they're nice, really nice apartments where they can spread out. They might even have a guest room for a family member to come and stay and visit, stuff like that. So Gun Barrel. And then Bucky lives downtown. I won't say where Bucky lives, but he's in the heart of the city. Shador, all this time, I've seen Shador in the city a few times. I have no idea where he lives. Travis, and it's crazy because Travis lives, I'm not going to say the city that Travis lives in because he lives in a different spot than the rest of the players by himself. But I know from his neighborhood, like where he is, but I have no idea. So Shador is a good thing because I think that Bucky, and I don't think anybody should know where any of the players live when you've got this much attention and this much media. But I'm just kind of paranoid. So anyway, they don't live in the campus dorms. They get really nice apartments. It's probably part of the NIL hookup. I think they're actually partnered up with this apartment complex that I'm thinking about. So Me says that before they retired as an iron worker, they built a lot of apartments with stores and fitness centers within. Yep, we got those down here. Oh, so I remember passing this place yesterday. Yesterday, we walked in between these two stores, and I showed you guys Boulder High's football field, which is right on the other side. But this No Thai Cafe is, or maybe it's Cow Thai Cafe. Whatever it is, it's delicious, it's affordable, it's like a family made from scratch type. If you like Thai food, No Thai. That's what I call it. It might be Cow Thai. Then you got Hillside Pizza. Honestly, never eaten there. I got one pizza spot in Boulder. It's called Pizza Colore. It's on Pearl Street. I ate at a few different places, and I won't say because they were good, so I don't want to make it sound like they're not good. But I was looking for my pizza spot, and once I ate at Pizza Colore, I've literally never gotten pizza anywhere else. So I have never tried Hillside. All right, guys, this is Broadway and Arapahoe. If you're following along on a map, we're at Broadway and Arapahoe. Got a little motel. Apparently the rooms are nicer inside than it looks outside. Heard it's actually a little decent place to stay. Families coming in for the games and whatnot. We got the smoke shops everywhere. We got a restaurant over there called Holy Crepe. It's like all kind of different crepes, savory and sweet. We got a coffee shop over there called the Coffee Stand. Over here, where you see those umbrellas, that's Colonel Mustard's Last Stand hot dog place. It's been in, I think it's been Boulder since the 70s or 80s. Colonel Mustard's hot dogs. And they're really good. They're pricey, but they're I don't know the words I'm looking for. They're like those real thick, high quality kind of hot dogs. So we're at Broadway and Arapahoe. And again, we walked down the west edge of the city, which was down there along the mountains till we got to Chautauqua. Then we walked from Chautauqua back to Broadway, down Baseline. So Baseline connects Broadway to Chautauqua, and then Baseline goes up into the mountains. I'm gonna show you that one day, because that is a beautiful little drive that you need to do if you come and visit Boulder, because you can get up to the top of a mountain on a paved road in like 10 minutes and get all those sights that you get from climbing a mountain without having to climb it. All right, guys, we're walking down Broadway. This is the Boulder Creek. I've told you about the Boulder Creek. Runs throughout the city from west to east, and there is a path that you can walk down, and that path actually takes us to the stadium, and then it keeps going past the stadium, or it takes us all the way to the mountains, going in the direction we're looking right now. And you see some bicyclists, they're going down that path. So it'll be people walking, people biking, people on scooters. Over here, I forget the name of this park, but it's like the main downtown park, so I should know it. But that is called the Boulder Clamshell. The Boulder Clamshell is where we have like outdoor amphitheater type concerts and whatnot. And it's not for like very big artists. A big artist is gonna play the Fox Theater if they're on the smaller side. They're gonna play the Boulder Theater if they're a little bit bigger of an artist than that. And then if they're too big for the Boulder Theater, they're probably gonna play in Broomfield at the First Bank Center, or they're gonna play one of the Denver venues, Pepsi Center, Red Rocks, Fiddler's Green. The music scene was one of the main things that I loved about Boulder and Denver 15 years ago. And I don't know if it's fallen off, if it was COVID, or if it's just me getting older, but it just doesn't feel like it did 15 years ago to me. But I might just be out of touch with what the kids are listening to, you know what I'm saying? I got kind of old school classic tastes. All right, let's try not to get hit. I waved her to go ahead, so she was gonna wait. Yeah, you gotta watch out. Gotta watch out for bikes and pedestrians. If you come to Boulder and you're driving around these downtown streets, just go 25, you know what I'm saying? We have pedestrian accidents, people get in accidents, people get in legal trouble. And you gotta keep your head on a swivel, whether you're the pedestrian or you're the driver. But it's usually out-of-town drivers who just are not used to pedestrians popping out from everywhere. Bicycles, skateboarders, scooters. Y'all see all those Lime scooters over there? Those things are, well, now they're behind that truck. But those Lime scooters are part of Uber. People can use the Uber app and they get on one of those scooters and you could drive it and just leave it anywhere. I saw somebody left one in the middle of the creek. You're not supposed to leave them in the creek, obviously, but you just drive them and leave them wherever you want, and they'll be flying up and down the sidewalks. Watch out. So let's see, which restaurant is this? Is this El Centro? I'll show you guys some of the restaurants as we walk. Because we're at that kind of like sunset golden hour where everything looks kind of pretty. We still got some of you guys hanging out in the chat, so just kind of keep walking around. Well, I don't know what restaurant this is, but we're gonna find out because it always smells really good. And not get hit crossing the road. Get you guys the vibes.
We're all wearing the same. Yeah.
What restaurant restaurant is this? Tiaco?
Yeah.
Tiaco. Oh, there we go. Tiaco. But they just have such good ambiance, and it always smells so good when I'm walking through there. I think it used to be a different name. If you guys know better than me, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I have not eaten at Tiaco, but that's gonna be on my list. Fidama Dote, doing great. Good to see you. Good to see all the Coach Prime Buff supporters from around the world. You guys see it started as an overcast night, but we're getting the colors popping out. Pretty cloud formations. I wish you guys could smell the smells, because it's like baked bread and delicious steak and like onion rings and like a little bit of Italian something. Smells are popping tonight. Yeah, I think Boulder has quite a bit of European influence. We need to make some, as the channel grows, if the channel grows, we'll see what the future holds. I would love to do more mini documentaries on some of the cool historical features of Boulder. So, okay guys, this is Pearl and Broadway. We've been here in a lot of our videos. So that's the hill we just came down, where campus is up there, Chautauqua is up there. That's where we just came from. You guys have been here at this point in a lot of other videos, so hopefully you're starting to see how the city connects and ties together. I'm gonna take you guys one more little stroll around Pearl Street, and we will say good night, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world, and much love and liberty from Boulder to you and your family and your city. To all keep the SCO up, showing love, ride or die, Coach Prime and the players. Letting them know that there really is more support than hate. The haters just made the most videos so far, but we are stopping that. Appreciate you guys very much. It's an honor. I feel very lucky to be here at this point in time with Coach Prime here. Pretty crazy.
That's on God as it gets. As well, John says, I'll keep your body here with my purse, man. He's a Pradesh. As you know, this dog, we
must have got neutered.
My dog's blue, your dog, but.
My
Oh,
dog,
he's friendly. He's just
a-
hyper.
he's a street dog. He's a total street dog. How's it going? He's from Tucson.
That's awesome. Well, welcome. What's their name?
Coopy.
Hi, Koopy.
He's a boy.
Hi, Koopy.
Aw, you're cute.
This is Pork Chop. Oh, no, don't yell, buddy. No. Sorry. He's learning his manners. It was all good till Pork Chop started yelling over the heart music. Hey, he was pretty good though that whole time. He was just chilling. But when he sees another dog, he wants to play off leash because he gets to play. So Boulder has some huge off leash dog parks. I'm talking 5-10 acres that are fenced in and tons of dogs. So that's how he's used to playing with other dogs. So that's another thing that will set him off with me, is if he meets another dog and he can't run off leash, he gets mad at me. That's just how it goes.
The dog's stuck on its leash.
Oh, thank you. He's pretty good at that. Guy was telling me that Pork Chop was stuck on his leash because he gets all tangled up. All right, guys, but we're back at Pearl and Broadway. This is where we're gonna end the stream. I hope you guys have enjoyed another walk around Boulder. We're just gonna keep showing you, different parts of the city. Me and Pork Chop. He is friendly. He is friendly, just full of life. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. We're gonna see you later in the week, probably with an analysis of the Iowa State-Texas Tech game, because we need Iowa State to lose. That's just part of what we need. We need a good bit of help to get to the Big 12 championship. We could still get to the college playoffs if we win out dominantly and are selected based on the criteria they use to select the non-conference champion teams. And I don't think anybody's gonna have better ratings than CU if they win dominantly. So that's what we gotta hope for, guys. We're gonna break down that game since we have a bye week for CU. We might be back later this weekend or whenever there's a buildup of CU news to talk about, where we need to do another group chat walking around. Salute to everybody across the world for watching. It's amazing the reach that Coach Prime has. It's amazing to have him just randomly end up in the city that was my happy place for 15 years before my childhood hero just dropped in. And we hope we can have him for as long as possible. I know the school's gonna give him the keys to the city if he wants to stay here, but we'll just have to see what the future holds. Salute Corleone, salute me, salute Steffi, salute Sumac, Fidama, shake hands, Yvonne, all of you guys. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you soon. Much love to you and your family wherever you are. Go Buffs.